adoption of the agenda.
I move we approve the agenda as presented.
Second.
Have a motion and a second for approval of the agenda. All those in favor?
Aye.
Minutes from the March 27th and April 2nd meetings.
Move to approve as presented.
Second.
Have a motion and a second to approve the minutes from the March 27th and April 2nd meetings. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? No audience. So you got some good news. No incidents reported during this period. And then just a couple other safety notes. Receiving the APPA Safety Award of Excellence. Congratulations to all for that. And then one other thing, at the underground facilities, 2 years without a recordable. Congratulations to that. Thank you. Next, we're going to reports. Travis, good morning.
Morning. I do have one action item for you guys this morning. It's the well treatment maintenance. It is a budgeted item. We did receive 2 quotes on that, and as you can tell, both of them are way over budget. Basically, what I got from one of the companies was their material cost, labor cost, insurance cost. Basically, all their costs have gone up drastically. The other one that I talked with, basically they had the bid last year, which they are the low bid this year, and basically the only reason I got for their increase was they lost money last year, so they're trying to recoup the cost. And that was the only answer I got from them. So it looks like probably in the future, we will probably have to increase the budget on this in future years and everything. So my recommendation at this time is a motion to accept the proposal from Flynn Drilling Company in the amount of $95,373.
In the low bid, we had some performance issues with them, didn't we? Before?
Yes. Last year we had that company and it drug on basically the whole past the fiscal year and everything. And there was a whole bunch of hidden cost and everything, and we basically paid them about what their bid was this year.
So they had some add-ons that they...
Yeah, they had a lot of add-ons and everything. Their bid last year was like $55,000, if I remember right, and it came in at 83 something.
They run into some issues with one well that we had to do some repairs.
Yes.
So
Yeah, well 9 we had a shaft broke on that one. That one wasn't even in the plan to do anything with it, but so we had to do some rearranging with that. They found some gravel pack and things like that in well 4, and they did a video inspection, all that, and they come to find out that was probably in there from the last time it was lined. It wasn't all taken out. They didn't find any other issues with it. So, but all that stuff was all additional cost that we weren't planning on.
I guess the only other options are treat fewer wells or increase the frequency.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know what they thought about that. But
And they've treated 5 wells and pulled 2 for inspection for years and years. That was just kind of the thing they've done. From all the records I've seen, they've done it a very long time. And that's also an option if you think we need to back off on some of the wells and treat them less often or not.
I mean, the treatment and maintenance programs have added a lot of life and a lot of, I don't think it's anything we want to back out of. But
yeah,
it's a lot more increase than I was expecting.
I'm
Well,
no expert
same
on
here.
it. I'm no expert on it, so I'd leave it up to you all to what's the best. Yeah.
And those wells, some of them have been in, I think the first ones were put in 1945. And I think this program's definitely kept our wells in great condition. I hate to even guess what a new well would cost to install. So, I think we go ahead and continue it this year and then, kind of look at costs and budget and maybe moving forward a little bit differently, but I wouldn't be a fan of backing off totally of getting these treated.
I'll make a motion to accept the proposal from Flynn Drilling Company in the amount of $95,373.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to accept the proposal from Flynn Drilling Company in the amount of $95,373. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Thank you. An update on the acid disposal project. I did send in the application and all that through DNR. Still kind of waiting until we get that ID number so they can move on forward with that project. And on the spreader truck operation, they were down here Tuesday, had an issue. I believe the gearbox broke. They actually came in back yesterday, picked it up, and took it back to their shop for repairs. So I'm not real sure. Some misalignments and things like that, and now it's between the truck company and the bid company, and so
Gearbox to actuate the bed
yes.
move, okay.
Yeah, there's two gearboxes on it, and they're not very far apart. One comes off the engine, and then it takes a drive shaft back up to the bed, and they don't have it aligned right. And Meyer put the bracket on that the bed company sent them, and I think they can fix it. It's just gonna take a little realignment on those gearboxes.
But they actually did do some demo. It's
True.
Because that threw me off. It said next week to demo, and then I realized to demonstrate,
Yeah.
not demo.
On the positive side, the truck did work well when it was working.
Okay.
It spread the line really well, and it seemed like the GPS and the computer system was pretty operator friendly.
Did they give you a timeline when we get it back?
They were gonna overnight parts the last I knew, and I haven't heard from them since. I don't know if they got it there, if they dug into it, or they're gonna wait till this morning to dig into it.
Is there any downside to registering as a hazardous waste generator and being on EPA's website?
Basically, we have to do that just to be listed on the manifest. And basically, after they're completed and the paperwork we get, and then we just deactivate it. Yeah, that's kind of what I thought of. This doesn't sound good, but
I was kind of surprised that we weren't already, to tell you the truth. But
Well-
we didn't have a reason for it.
we normally don't dispose of anything like that.
Okay.
Since we're disposing of it, that's why.
Yeah.
It kind of threw the contractor too. They didn't realize, because the last board meeting, they were on site and everything. And when I got back to the plant, he was standing there by the building. It's like, oh, this probably isn't good. So, but yeah, we just have to have that ID number to put on the manifest so they know where it's coming from. Because I think where they're disposing it is out of state, and it's taken across state lines. You have to have all that.
Anything else for Travis? Thank you, Travis. Eric, good morning.
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 I do have an action item this morning. It's to asphalt the driveway north of the UV building. That driveway, the existing driveway is gravel. Anytime we get a good amount of rain, it just washes out. I've tried crowning that driveway to try to help it, and it just ends up washing out anyway. So I'd like to asphalt it to correct that problem. Recommendation would be motion to request bids for asphalting the driveway by the UV building.
How long is that driveway?
I need to measure, it's a pretty short stretch there. I need to look at where we're gonna cut off, to make the water run the right way, but I was gonna measure it and put it
Yeah,
in
it wouldn't take a lot of driveway to blow that budget. That's the only thing I was thinking.
it's a shorter stretch there. Cause, part of the driveway going up to the UV is already asphalted, so it's just the remaining part up the hill there.
I know concrete's expensive, but do we ever look at concrete compared to asphalt? Just see what the difference is.
I have not, just because of that thought, that it would just be more expensive, but I can.
And asphalt's, I know concrete goes up, but so does asphalt too, yeah.
Make a motion to request bids for asphalting the driveway by the UV building.
Second.
Have a motion and a second to request bids for asphalting the driveway by the UV building. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Thank you, guys. Only update I have is I reached out to Arizin Monday, and then again yesterday. Haven't had any luck on getting the pricing and the lead times back, so I'll keep on trying to get that information for you guys. Other than that, I don't have anything unless you have any questions.
Will there be any warranty on that blower?
I checked on that, and the warranty expired in July of 2024.
Okay.
Tony's contacted the insurance.
They're gonna drop you.
Luckily, it doesn't expire till 26, so we got a little time.
UV system, running, no problems?
Yeah, it's running great, no problems at all. So.
Thank you for everybody that, jumped in and worked on that. I know we had some controls guys.
They did a really good job. Looks good.
Yeah, it was a good team effort. I think Grant's guys with concrete, Doug had electricians down there, so we were able to self-perform quite a bit
Thank
and
you.
keep that cost down.
Anything else for Eric? Thank you, Eric. Doug, good morning.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Morning.
I do have an action item for you today. It's a budgeted item. It's to update our arc flash study. The last study was done in 2020 by Luce Daly and Brain Engineering. The updated study would account for any changes on substations, distribution system, motor control centers, things like that. They'd also create arc flash labels that give us an idea what personal protective equipment to wear when working on specific equipment. We do have the master service agreement in place with Toth and Associates that's signed and in place, so we'd like to move forward with that. So my recommendation at this time is for a motion to have Toth and Associates update the arc flash study for a not to exceed price of $45,000.
I make a motion to have Toth and Associates update the arc flash study for a not to exceed price of $45,000.
Second.
Have a motion and a second to have Toth and Associates update the arc flash study for a not to exceed price of $45,000. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Thank you, gentlemen. No updates, other than the poor boys' last day was yesterday. They are gone. They'll return here later in the summer when the foliage comes out to spray a herbicide on all the right-of-way, transmission right-of-way, underground projects going well, moving along with that. Not much else unless you have any questions for me.
Anything for Doug? Thank you, Doug. Jared, good morning.
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 Do have an action item this morning. Black River Trading Company, who we purchased the new auto tie baler from, they said they could broker our old baler for us for 10% off the total sale price. Kind of felt like they maybe had a better hold on the market and people that were looking for something of that nature rather than just putting it on Purple Wave. So my recommendation would be a motion to allow Black River Trading Company to broker the sale of the old auto tie baler for a 10% fee off the total sale price.
Did they give you a ballpark idea what it might be
No.
worth? Don't know.
He's supposed to come down in the next week or so and look at it. I've sent him all the pictures and information, but he was supposed to come down next week and take a look at it and give me a better idea then.
So that's pretty hard life, hasn't it?
Yeah. It's rough.
It was used when we got it.
I make a motion to allow Black River Trading Company to broker the sale of the old auto tie baler for a 10% fee of the total sale price.
Second.
Is a new one here?
No, they're estimating right now the week of the 20th, 21st of April.
Okay.
So just in the next few weeks.
Okay. I have a motion and a second to allow Black River Trading Company to broker the sale of the old auto tie baler for a 10% fee of the total sale price. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Thank you. Unit 6, we put on turning gear last night. Everything's going well. We did have some oil leaks, which we expected. I think we got those all taken care of, and we plan to start up right after the board meeting this morning. That's all I got.
What'd you say you put it on last night?
Turning gear. So it's been turning
Okay.
for the last 12, 14 hours or so.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Anything more for Jared? Thank you, Jared. Megan, good morning.
I do have an action item, actually two action items. Before I do that, I just want to say I appreciate you recognizing our safety achievements. At APPA Safety Award, that's the second year we received the diamond designation, which is the highest level you can achieve. And in 2021, we didn't place at all. So we've come a long ways, and that's due to everybody's efforts. Congratulations as well to Underground on that 2-year achievement. And also, everybody involved in providing electric, we also were recognized by APPA for reliable electric
Yeah.
service, so congratulations to them as well. But the safety accomplishments and improvements that we've made over the years, I just really appreciate everybody's efforts, and it takes everybody on that. I was looking at 6 or 7 years ago, or 6 and 7 years ago, we paid north of $345,000 for work comp insurance, and we just renewed it for $68,000. So it makes a difference. More importantly, everybody's going home in one piece, but it affects the pocketbook too. So the first action item that I have for you there this morning is results of our annual wage and benefit review. And the board's received the survey report and all that, so I won't spend a lot of time on that. What you have in your packet is our recommendations following that review. And we're doing several things here. One of those is looking at pay ranges, making appropriate adjustments on those. And also where folks have maintained their job performance and earned it, allowing them an adjustment corresponding to that pay range increase, which will allow them to maintain the progress they've made in the pay range. And then the last piece there is another merit-based increase, also based on performance evaluations, which allows for growth within that pay range based on their increased skills and job knowledge and job performance. The package that we have today, we're recommending is, if implemented over 12 months, is a $290,000 annual increase. That's just a little bit over 4.5% increase on payroll. And of course, this budget year, that will just be in place and approved for 6 months. Kind of want to comment on a couple of things you see on the pay range charts in there. We are recommending that with the customer service positions, that we add a second tier to that, so similar to some other job categories, plant operators and things like that, we would actually end up with CSR 1 and CSR 2. The difference being that the CSR 2 is proficient in the tasks that are required for utility billing, and they would need to also meet some requirements as far as years of experience in order to do that. We have one individual right now that this is approved would be eligible to be reclassified as a CSR 2. And then a couple other things in there, you will see that we actually changed recommend and change And that's to, as we look at the salary survey data, both our own and external surveys that we follow, we do track, year over year, so that each year we're not just looking at that year's data. We do that so we don't, react to anomalies that show up from time to time in that data. We're making those adjustments, or recommending those adjustments based on years of seeing some competitive pressures in those areas that we need to address. And we've also provided in the packet, there's kind of a snapshot of some data, other data that we look at, which is salary budget surveys, to kind of see what the rest of the world is budgeting and then actually implementing increases. So you will find that in there as well. We tend to lag behind the rest of the world a little bit, but we have, the last couple of years, thanks to the actions taken by the board, been able to catch up a little bit. We had in the early 2000s and late teens there, fallen a little bit too far behind, and you can see there that we've caught up some, so that's a good thing. We appreciate being able to do that. That's the first action item. I would be happy to answer any questions you guys have on that, but we are recommending a motion to approve the wage and salary changes as presented to become effective April 20th.
One thing kind of stood out, the pay range adjustments, the chart, the second or third page, the increased entry on, looks like there's 6 positions went up 18.2%. Is that the entry wage, is that so we can get that kind of skilled labor, or is that what we see, that
Yes.
the entry level's just too low?
Yes, and it has been for some time. We've been gradually trying to address those, but you can look at the previous entry rate on those positions. None of those are entry-level positions. And just realistically look at that, you're never gonna hire somebody and start at what we had entry on that before. So I just went ahead and did the board and recommended we make that where it needs to be.
And then on the first page, I was curious, so we're gonna increase payroll, turn 31,000, 3.65%.
That's the increase in payroll, that will occur based on pay range adjustments.
Yeah, what I'm curious about though, in 2024, do you know what that percentage was last year? That's what I was just looking at, what's the comparison from,
Had that for some,
the dollar values there,
I know it was slightly more.
Your point about the entry, increased entry though, I mean, that's the growing department, that's where
Yeah.
we're gonna need the
yeah. Yeah, I
talent
I
pool coming
understand
up,
it.
right?
It was 365 last year.
Oh, so it's the state's, okay,
I mean, 376, I'm sorry.
okay,
Looked the wrong row.
there we go,
3.76.
okay,
And the overall last year was 4.89.
okay. Thank you.
It's good to see that margin slimming between us and, the average across the country. That's where it needs to be.
There's no additional questions. I make a motion to approve the wage and salary changes as presented to become effective on April 20th, 2025.
Second.
Okay. So we have a motion and a second to approve wage and salary changes as presented to become effective on April the 20th, 2025. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Just as a comment, we did review this with Stephen Mills, and he had no issues as well, so he was in favor. I didn't hear anything back from him after our meeting.
Yeah, I didn't
He
either.
needed-
Yeah.
Thank you. The second action item that we have there is with regard to benefits. Each year, we do look at some external surveys and do a little bit of review on what we're offering as our benefits package. And we've been seeing, and I think I probably commented in the annual summary, we've been seeing some lag in our vacation accrual compared to other employers. Not necessarily at the top end so much as in some of those early and mid years. And when we look at that, I'm kind of trying to, it's difficult with someone when you're trying to take a snapshot of the whole thing. For example, if you look at vacation alone, you might feel the lag even more than what I'm addressing here, but I try to step back a little more where they offer personal time. And I know that we offer more personal time than a lot of the employers we can compare to, so kind of try to look at the whole picture there. But we do feel that a small adjustment to our vacation accrual for all years save for that top tier where folks hit 25 years start earning 7 hours. We're not recommending any change there, but a quarter hour increase per pay period on the other tiers. And then also recommending that we increase the maximum accrual allowed, which is currently 260 hours, that we increase that to 280. And what happens when somebody hits that cap is they just stop accruing vacation time until they use some. We are recommending a motion on that to revise personnel policy regarding vacation accrual and cap, also effective on April 20.
So does a employee, do we not have a personal time off policy? They just use vacation?
We do have personal time,
We have personal time off in addition?
40 hours.
Okay.
But there is no sick time. So
Yeah,
I
right.
think PTO was kind of made
Yeah.
to fill that when sick time was.
And then you can accrue up to 7 weeks of vacation.
Yes.
So that rolls over, but once it gets to that 80 mark, as fast as it just stops.
You stop accruing until you use some. And that was the average, 280 hours was the average of what we saw in our survey data, and that excludes those where it was a multiple of their annual accrual. So for each person in that tier, it'd be their per cap, and it kind of seems a little probably complicated, too complicated to administer when it doesn't need to be, so. And we also saw a couple that have no maximum, that kind of surprised me. And I know they're probably a little more common in private employers, but it surprised me within our survey group to see that.
And that vacation, you can't cash that out.
Correct.
Yeah.
Now, when someone leaves employment, we do.
Yeah.
pay them for that.
I think it's, personally, I think it's a pretty nice benefits package. Nothing wrong with that. It's good to have a fair benefits package.
Make a motion to revise the personnel policy regarding vacation accrual and cap as presented effective April 20th, 2025.
Second.
Have a motion and a second to revise the personnel policy regarding vacation accrual and cap as presented, effective on April the 20th, 2025. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Thank you, gentlemen, appreciate it.
That's a tremendous amount of data and a lot to
Yes.
collect, so thank you very much for that.
Thank you. Don't believe I have any other updates unless you have questions.
Anything more from Megan? Grant, good morning.
Morning, gentlemen.
Morning.
Just a couple updates. The Grant Street water main relocation is complete. All services have been transferred. And And we did receive, it's not in your packet, but we did receive a task order from Burns and McDonnell on the master plan. We're currently reviewing that, and we'll bring it back to you at a future board meeting.
Okay. Anything more for Grant? Thank you, Grant. Jim, good morning.
Morning.
Not a lot to add to what got in the packet. We are getting quotes for the trailer that was approved last week, and it looks like around between 5,700 and 6,200 or what we're supposed to coming in there due today, so hopefully we'll get that ordered here shortly, but other than that, just more of the same.
Anything for Jim? All right. Thank you, Jim. Tony?
Morning.
Morning.
Did visit with, did the insurance adjuster on Unit 6. They did get a check in the mail to us. I think that was on Tuesday. They're for the 1.2 that was originally estimated. And then once we get all of our invoices paid, then we'll resubmit the second round for the remaining difference. There was a $50,000 deductible, so should be for about just a little under 1.2 million. Hopefully get that today or first part of next week. 6 months ago, we and Jim had submitted a request for grant 2 to adjust our budget on that to allow some grant funding for some equipment. That did get approved finally last week. So I think the backyard machine that we bought here a few months ago, we'll get reimbursed for that, and then an air compressor that we need to buy, we'll be able to use grant funding for that as well. As I mentioned last week, we did have our exit conference for round 1. Have to make that adjustment to the fixed assets, but other than that, we're pretty good to go on that. Should be closed up here soon. There is a correction in there that I've been getting quotes for the sprinkler system. We're not replacing it, hopefully. We're just getting certified or inspected. So hope to hear something back here soon on that. And I believe that's all I have.
So it's not a new sprinkler system, we're just,
You're just gonna come, he wanted to come down and look at, some of them wanted to come down and look at it and see what needs to be inspected before they give us a quote.
okay. How old is it?
Well, the guy that inspected it walked in there and said, this is pretty old.
Okay.
So hopefully it's not too old, but I think 08 was the last time.
Okay.
I think the tag was inspected on it, so. So hope to get that done here soon.
Anything for Tony? Thank you, Tony. Jeff, good morning.
Morning.
Morning, gentlemen. Just want to give a shout out to Megan on her work on the salary survey. That a pretty big haul, and you kind of notice in there too with some of the CSR 1s and 2s, we're trying to build some bench depth in some positions kind of while we're doing this. That fits in with the succession planning we're moving forward. So you may see some other stuff coming forward, trying to get that bench depth built where needed. So you guys should have I did hear back from Crescent, and you guys remember we toured the building. We'd asked about the forklift. They have provided a price. I did visit with Jared. We don't feel like the price is bad. It's not great, but it's not bad. I think a normal forklift like this, new, they run around $30,000. This one does have quite a few hours, but I think it would be helpful with the Marshall Generation project if we had that over there. So if we're going to go ahead and move forward with that, we'll need a motion to purchase that forklift for that amount.
Runs fine and everything?
Yeah, I haven't.
We haven't
Inspected it.
inspected it yet, and I don't know if there's anybody local. Could make the motion pending. I think we've got, if we include it in the packet, we'll have it's in the contract right now, so we've got an inspection period that we should be able to address that in. I'll double check with Elizabeth, but I
think, because they did have it just included in one contract rather than having the real estate as separate. So we do have an inspection period on that as well. And we just haven't been able to get back over the building.
How will we utilize it? Whenever they're offloaded, is it more MEC?
For the first few years, I would see MEC using it.
Now you guys use a forklift at 10 and 11
We
some.
do.
So that it would prevent them from having to drive one clear around. I think after the MEC project, we'll probably want to reevaluate. We'll have, probably Doug will have, we got the switchgear project, it'll probably be used on 2 transformers. We're changing out. I think we could use that quite a bit during that project, both us and MEC for some improvements on our side.
It's a hard tar forklift, isn't it?
Yes, I believe so.
I don't remember, I didn't look at it whenever we were over there.
Propane.
Yeah.
If you guys want me to find out more, we can take it out of the real estate contract and come back after we've had time to look at it a little bit more.
I don't mind doing it, I just wanna make sure it's not a,
right.
it's actually running and moving, and meet our needs.
Right. And I think Crescent, so I did get the real estate contract back. Elizabeth's supposed to look at that Monday. They'd like to try to close by the end of the month.
So this one wouldn't hold that up?
No, we could pull this out and just keep that moving and then circle back, break this out and then discuss it some more. I think it probably wouldn't hurt to go over. And, I could probably try to get something set up where we check it and go from there.
Be in favor of that, you?
You could make a motion to include in the real estate contract pending, management's inspection of the unit. I think that would
So how much,
kind of give us that authorization based on what we take in.
what's the actual amount?
6,000, 6,500.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just don't want it to hold up the real estate.
Right, right.
That's all. Yeah.
Right,
But to Wick's point, we want to make sure we've got a
right.
unit that's serviceable, that we can get some, life out of it.
But you could make a motion that we purchase it based on our inspection of the unit, including the real estate contract. If that's what the board would like to do.
Make a motion to purchase a 2008 Nissan forklift for $6,500, pending inspection
My management.
by me.
Got that, Jennifer?
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to purchase a 2008 Nissan 50 forklift pending inspection by management. Is that right? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Thank you, gentlemen. We did get the switchgear order canceled with Eaton. Doug's been working with Toth. I believe they're getting those bids out today or here pretty quick. We've reviewed those, so we want to get those back out on the street. Those are, what was the bid opening date on that?
May 8th.
May 8th, so tried to get that back out. They did make a few contract changes, but we're continuing to get that moving forward because it could put us in a bind if it's too late. So everything's going good there. Continue to work with MEC, just some back and forth, hopefully getting close to getting the property real estate transaction done. Planning and zoning did approve it last week. That goes to council Tuesday. I don't know yet if they're going to do a resolution or an ordinance. If it's an ordinance, it may require 2 readings. If it's a resolution, Penny with MEC would like to go ahead, once we get the plat recorded, she can start to work with the title company and kind of get things moving on that end. So that's moving forward. Not too much else going on, but, be happy to try to answer any questions.
Get any response from, regarding the termination notice? I mean, did they
Yeah, they sent us an email. They're sending us,
signed off on everything?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
That they agreed to return? Okay.
Yeah, it was just, hey, we received this, and by your terms, we were supposed to return this stuff within 5 days, and I think because they had to mail some of it, they weren't gonna get it within 5 days, but, I mean, it's gonna go a bit over a couple days. So, the phase 2 turbines are ordered, and Mike said, thinks the phase 1 turbine may arrive a little bit early, so, that wouldn't be a bad thing.
Anything more for Jeff? Thank you, Jeff. Cash disbursements. All the big ones in there.
Yeah, hopefully some of those will be ending here pretty soon.
Well, it's good, we'll get that insurance check on Unit 6, yeah.
Yeah, and heard back from DNR, e-verified information from the vendors, and then we should be able to get reimbursement on the water main. So, yeah, we've got some outstanding funds coming back in, it's just,
Yeah.
oh, one other thing I wanted to check too, Wednesdays, I think I've heard back from everybody, is it very good if we move our meetings to Wednesdays?
Start next meeting going
Start
forward.
next meeting going forward? Okay.
Purchase power chart being the next packet.
Yeah, we just got it like a couple days ago after the packet went out.
You didn't want it on here, did you?
I guess if it's in here this week, and then the next meeting, we can just look at the chart.
Okay,
Yeah. See where the money went.
I'll make a motion to approve cash disbursements.
I have a motion and a second to approve the cash disbursements. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Any other business? All right, our next meeting will be Wednesday, April the 30th, and going forward, all meetings will transition from Thursdays to Wednesdays. That's acceptable.
Yeah, I went to the staff and checked, but yeah, I was over talking to Elizabeth and Julie, and we've been sending a lot over there, and really kind of, she doesn't have a lot of time to get the council packet out. This would really help her get that packet out, and I got to think about a lot of the MPUA meetings are on Thursday, so it kind of help out on this side too. Being able to attend those, not having to move around.
Works good for me, yeah. Nothing else? Consider a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
I have a motion and a second to adjourn. All